Concept cars are that secret spice automobile companies use to ignite our anticipation for cars that rarely, if ever, become a reality. They most times remain dreams. Yet, their allure lies in their stunning appearance. However, many times their cutting-edge features resemble those that end up on production cars. In this video, we shall be turning back the hands of time as we look at 10 of the awesome and most legendary muscle and performance car concepts from the 1960s and 1970s that should have been produced and what we got instead. A tale of car dreams versus reality. Number 10. The 1962 Chevrolet Corvair Monza. Chevrolet developed a handful of mid-engine concept cars during the 60s, and this one was a functioning prototype based off the first-generation Chevy Corvair. The concept had a swoopy, curvy shape as the result of wind tunnel testing, with its wraparound canopy hinging forward for passenger access, and the rear section of the car hinged rearward for engine access. Incredible, right? It was actually drivable, with a 102 horsepower flat, 6-cylinder air-cooled engine providing thrust. The topless variant of this car was also built and named Monza SS for the 1963 show circuit season. Chevrolet was serious about putting this into production in the mid-1960s, but had to cancel the program because of a book. Unsafe at Any Speed by Ralph Nader tarnished the public's view of the Corvair. So instead, the C3 Corvette, with the styling derived from the concept. Also, if you pay close attention to details, you would notice the resemblance between the rear-end styling of the Monza and the production version of the second-generation Corvair. Number 9. The 1970 Chevrolet Aerovette. Chevrolet were surely not stopping there with their development of concept cars. In the 70s, they developed many more mind-blowing concepts, which included the Serve 2 and the XP 880 Astro 2. But the car that really had the public buzzing in joy was the mid-engine XP 882 Aerovette. The exciting car debuted at the 1970 New York Auto Show. The car was scintillatingly gorgeous and projected some styling features that appeared on upcoming production Corvettes, like the slotted wheels and fastback roof design. It also started the trend for the Corvette to become mid-engine, which then took about 50 years to materialize in 2020. Well, the XP 882 version was never produced back in the 70s, but Chevrolet did give us the C4 Disco Corvette in 1984. That is one of the least popular Corvette iterations that Chevrolet ever built. 8. The 1962 Ford Mustang. Next up is the story of a legendary car and how it came to be. In 1962, Ford debuted its Mustang 1, a fully functioning, open-concept two-seater at Watkins Glen Raceway. It was made as a competitor to the Corvette and European sports cars, and this was also the first time Ford introduced the name Mustang to the public. The car was powered by an 89-horsepower V4 engine and transaxle powertrain, provided by Ford of Germany. Its appearance was sleek and racy for 1962, and previewed the use of classic Wimbledon white paint color with blue center stripes, which later showed up in the Indy Pace Car Edition and Shelby versions of the Mustang. This car was deeply loved by the public, but sadly, it turned out to be only aimed at buzz not getting on the roads. Ford had zero intentions on producing it. Instead, the reality was the four-seat 1964 and a half Mustang based off the Ford Falcon platform with engine choices ranging from 6 cylinders to V8s. This spawned multiple generations of iconic Mustangs, some still loved by the public, and some not so much but well. All are still present with us till this day. Number 7. The 1970 Ford Mustang Milano. Ford came back again in the 70s, and this time, they went all in on Italian-inspired design with the 1970 Mustang Milano. It's a sleek-looking ride and predicts the future styling elements that showed up in the 1971 to 1973 Mustang redesign with its long front end, Maca hood ducting, and sharply raked fastback. Interestingly, the car also included cast aluminum wheels that mimic the look of wire wheels that showed up on loads of sports cars in the decades after. This car also had a unique tail light feature that glows green when accelerating, amber when coasting, and red when braking. Ford broke hearts again as they never produced it. It was just a dream car. In reality, we got the fat and lazy 1971-73 Mustangs with an extra 800 pounds of weight, detuned engines, and poor driver visibility. Number 6. The 1970 Mercury Elgato. This wonder car was introduced by Mercury in 1967. The Cougar was derived from the Ford Mustang platform and body shell. It's also where Mercury started associating its brand with the feline family. No wonder they named their 1970 Cougar concept car, the Elgato, or the cat. This beauty was painted in a lime moon mist color. The front windscreen was raked back several degrees and chopped down by several inches. The production Cougar's notchback roof and rare backlight treatment was replaced by the Mustang's fastback sports route. The car sat on low-profile rims and Firestone tires, which was very much pleasing to the eye and hinted at the possible direction that the Cougar could be taken by Mercury. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. The first generation of the Cougar ended after the 1970 model year, and in reality, we got the bloated 1970-73 Cougar that still shared its platform and body shell with the also newly updated, larger, heavier, and less sporty Mustang. Number 5. The 1970 AMC AMX3. Late in the 1960s, AMC was enjoying some success in the pony car market with its Javelin and AMX models, and was seeking to go down the sports car road to compete against the Di Damaso Pantera, sold by the Lincoln Mercury dealers in 1972. They came up with a masterpiece to say the least, the AMX-3. 6 drivable prototypes were built, powered by AMC's 360 and 390 cubic inch engines for testing and promotional purposes. However, after some realistic cost analysis, AMC discovered that they would have to sell the car for at least $12,000, which would make it uncompetitive against the Pantera. So the car remained a dream, and the reality was nothing. AMC abandoned not only the AMX-3, but its sports car dreams. In replacing that, they debuted the Gremlin, Hornet, and the restyled Matador in the early 70s. Well, I guess we still got the AMX-3 styling lines on the Matador. Number 4. The 1964 XP833 Banshee. What do you know about Pontiac? Do you know they have been in existence since the 60s? Yes, and they had one of the best concept cars. In 1964, Pontiac's John DeLorean debuted this sensuously styled XP833 concept car, whose mission was to compete with Ford's Mustang. This car concept was stunning, and could have posed a real threat to the Mustang. GM suits were not in agreement with these plans, though, and saw it as a potential threat to Corvette sales as it was quicker than the Corvette, which is a big no in the GM world. This is because of the unspoken rule that the Corvette was, is, and always shall be the corporate performance king. DeLorean was ordered to stand down, and the XP833 Banshee Super program went down as well. But not down in flames, though, because instead of a Pontiac production Banshee, we got 2 different production cars and a design feature included on a third car from the Banshee concept. Firstly, there were the taillights from the Banshee concept, which was replicated on the Firebird. You also could see the strong resemblance between the Banshee and the 1968 C3 Corvette. And lastly, the 1968 Opel GT looks much like the Banshee concept. So that's what we got in reality. Number 3. The 1969 Chevrolet Camaro RPO ZL. Maybe Chevrolet should be crowned kings of concept cars for their many designs that ended up just being designs. And this one was coined from a wild idea to a concept car, and it involves the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1, with the all-aluminum 427 cubic engine, which was never officially offered as a regular production option in the 1960s and the 1970s. Chevrolet thought that a ZL1 Camaro might be a hit with the public to offer as an RPO model, and so they developed a ZL1 prototype car. Well, it was a reproduction of a 4-speed, done up in black, with gold striping and accents, as the original's whereabouts are unknown. Chevrolet killed the idea due to the fact that it was to be sold to the public for $8,000 per copy, an insane amount back then. And so we didn't get a ZL1 Camaro in the 1960s and 1970s. But Chevrolet did still come around in 2012, as they resurrected it by giving it a 6th-generation Camaro, a 6.2-liter supercharged all-aluminum 550-horsepower beast, which could propel the Camaro from 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. Worth the wait of 48 years, I guess, right? Number 2. The 1970 Plymouth Rapid Transit. Plymouth went all Hot Wheels on us in 1970 and showed us 3 different concept models that were based off the current production of Cuda, Duster, and Roadrunner. These were part of the Rapid Transit marketing campaigns, where the cars were part of a traveling caravan that traversed across the country to Plymouth dealerships. The Rapid Transit caravan lasted for 2 years and required that the Roadrunner be updated with the new 1971 body style. All these were wild takes on the Plymouth, and were cool to look at as promotional displays, but never offered as versions of the actual cars one could buy. In reality, we got an updated and rounded-off Roadrunner in 1971 that still had some performance chops. The production Duster and Cuda didn't include any styling features from the Rapid Transit versions. All looked good, but the Rapid concept was classic. Number 1. The 1970 Ford King Cobra. Introducing the 1974 King Cobra. Based on the new 1970 Torino update, this car was created as a homologation prototype for NASCAR racing, to go up against the Dodge Daytona and Plymouth Superbird twins. Ford made 3 of these concepts and also a Mercury Cyclone Spoiler 2 version, powered by its Boss 429 engine and also 429 Cobra Jet and Super Cobra engines. During testing at high speeds, the King Cobra's handling was described as both terrifying and dangerous because of excessive front downforce and non-existent rear downforce due to a lack of rear spoiler or wing. Because of that and impending NASCAR rules that outlawed aero cars, Ford called it quits on the program and it never raced nor was it sold. In reality, we got a succession of boring Torinos that raced in NASCAR until 1976 when Ford dropped the Torino name. At least there was the Starsky and Hutch Torino, of which Ford built 1,000 replicas that were sold to the public, only with Magnum 500 wheels instead of the TV car's slotted mag wheels. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed looking at some of the coolest concept cars of the 60s and 70s, even though none of them were actually produced. However, some of the concepts of styling and features came to reality. Thanks for watching. Please do not forget to like and share this video and subscribe to our channel. Until next time.